Charlotte is actually very sick at the moment. She's been copying me a lot.
I have that she's copying you. Why is that?
Everybody wants to be Poppy.
I've been working on this video for a couple of days, and I didn't just want to make a video without being 100% certain. I really just wanted to sit back and observe the situation for a couple of days. Now, this is just my opinion, my perspective, my insight. I am in no way a professional. I am not a lawyer, nor am I a psychologist. However, I have been a victim of domestic abuse and go through a similar situation. So I feel like I can give a little bit of insight as to maybe how Mars Argo was feeling. So Brittany and Corey met 10 years ago in 2008 when they were both 20 years old. After 5 years together in January 2014, she confronted Corey about his infidelity and they officially broke up, but they continued to maintain a working relationship. So next it states that during the entire relationship, Corey was dependent on Brittany's money from her and her family, which I find so ironic that he would make a song talking crap about her accepting money from her dad when he was actively benefiting from it as well. That could be a reason, I assumed, as to why he was so mad when they broke up, because considering she was the owner of the channel, he was left with no money and nowhere to live. However, if you look at his Instagram, it seems that he managed to take care of himself just fine after the breakup. I noticed nobody mentioned this, but in 2013, Brittany's dad invested in their computer show / the Mars Argo project, with him owning 83% of the business and then splitting the remaining 16%, 8% to Mars Argo and 8% to Titanic Sinclair. So for all those people that say that they have no leverage and they don't technically own this content, well, technically they do according to this contract. In May of 2014, the band was growing in popularity, gaining an almost cult-like following. And at this time, Titanic Sinclair was becoming more abusive towards Brittany. And if you were to look at their social media posts, you wouldn't think that anything was amiss in their relationship. He would say things to her like, "You're getting old," and it would make her feel like she was running out of time. This pressured her to create content, and if you listen to the lyrics of the music, it references their relationship a lot.
Am I naive to think that he could be the love of my life? There is a voice inside my head that's telling me that it's right. I never thought I'd tell him how scared I am of losing him.
There's actually a radio interview where Mars Argo says, "Hi, I'm Mars Argo, the lead singer of the band," and Titanic Sinclair interrupts and says, "You write lyrics too," basically saying, yeah, you work on the content as well. So while all this was going on, Corey would also do anything he could to prevent Brittany from working with anybody but him. Now, there's evidence that Poppy knew Titanic Sinclair as early as May of 2014, and it's significant because these text messages surfaced that were rumored to be between somebody asking for context into the situation, and it was one of Titanic's friends who was apparently present during these events. And he stated that Brittany was jealous and crazy of Mariah / that Poppy, and that she was taking it too far. Now, if these text messages are true, they may give some context as to how Corey may feel about the situation, but we really don't know until he says something. And I believe very much so that Brittany was jealous of the girls that Titanic brought around or just basically hung out with. And I think he knew this, and I think he purposely would post him hanging out with these girls after she put the band on hold just to make her jealous. And I definitely don't think that when they broke up, they just stopped contact altogether. When you go through a breakup where the man just can't be faithful, you go through a period where you want to make it work and he's just too full of himself and he can't let go of the other girl. And perhaps Mariah was a little bit of an enabler. Actually, not even a little bit, she was. And she didn't care if Titanic was still around Mars. She didn't care if he abused her. She just went along with it. And Mars cared if he was around Poppy, and Mars cared if he would go off with other girls. And again, this is my speculation. This is just my opinion, my insight into the situation. And it says that she met Poppy multiple times, and when you're going through a breakup and all of a sudden your ex is hanging out with these young random girls that are a little bit skinnier than you, a lot younger than you, maybe they're cooler, a little bit edgier, maybe they come in a group. You know, something about these girls was appealing enough for Titanic Sinclair to cheat on his girlfriend of 5 years. So as to what that was, she also thinks that he just wanted her around so that she could continue to support him financially.
Yeah, that was like always a dream, but I was so poor that like, you know, that wasn't gonna happen.
It says that his conduct was manipulative, and I'm assuming what that could mean is that maybe they were being band rehearsals and he would try to romance her, and she would maybe fall for it some days or fall for it for a little bit, you know, and then snap out of it and be like, oh wait, no, he's a cheater. He doesn't really love me, because if he loved me, he wouldn't, you know, run off with Mariah or Emma or whoever he was talking to. Now, one tactic a lot of manipulative guys use, and he probably used this on Mars Argo all the time, was anytime she would want to pursue something solo, he'd probably be like, oh, is it going to be with a guy? And automatically think the work. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's like a good manipulation tactic to get a girl to not want to even go out and do anything. And it even says in a lawsuit here that another tactic he would use is he would slander her in emails to people like they both knew, and that in turn also made her not want to pursue anything solo, because who knows what he was saying to them. So on May 31st of 2014, they actually canceled their first show because of a fight they had. So in June, she put the band on hold, and I really think she just wanted to spend the summer to gain her independence from Corey and his shenanigans. So I really think that Britney was madly in love with this guy, and he tried to play that to his advantage. Now, some of the things Titanic did in the beginning when they first broke up is he kept breaking into her apartment, and it seems like anytime that happened, social media was always somehow involved. For example, he found out that she joined a Facebook group, so that's when he started breaking the wine glasses, demanding that she tell him which group she joined. He also broke in and deleted friends off of her Facebook, and when he found out she was doing a solo act, that's when he showed up and started punching her in the face. So from the way it looks like they were actually pretty civil with each other until the summer of 2014, which would have been around the same time that he supposedly met Mariah/Poppy. Now, there's this message where it says, "You probably blocked me, so I showed up." From personal experience, what would cause my ex to show up where I lived is when I'd go out with my friends and I would turn off my phone or I would ignore his calls, and he would always show up outside my house every time I was coming home, just like Titanic Sinclair would do to her. And when guys do that to you, it does wear you out. It makes it to where you don't want to leave your house anymore. And some of you guys won't understand this mindset, like, oh, why don't you just call the police or do this and that? And it's just that you're so brainwashed into thinking that you really can't do anything about it. And also, you don't want them to retaliate in a worse way. You know that this person can do a lot of mean things, and the police don't really do much. And that's the best way I can explain it. I'll try to explain it at the end if I have more time. So in November of 2014, that's when Titanic Sinclair started using Mariah as a way to mock Mars Argo with their videos. Now, some say that Poppy/Mariah is more deadpan than Mars Argo. Well, yeah, because she's mocking her. And it's like when people mock the president, they act crazier than the president actually is. So these tactics that he did would further isolate and prevent Mars Argo from working with people. And there were probably a lot more things that he did to her that she simply just couldn't prove in court. Now, they bring up this prescription bottle as an example of him purposely taking her ideas and stealing her content. Now, y'all gotta remember that he dated this girl for 5 years. He knows her in and out, so he probably knows how to get under her skin. And remember when I said he insulted her age? Well, that's probably why he took a younger, skinnier, blonder girl and replaced her in their computer show that they did as a couple together. You know, and if you watch their old episodes, you can tell they had a lot of chemistry together. So to sit there and take what y'all made that was really special and turn it into this mockery of a show, I could assume sent her over the edge. And I'm so proud that she's still here to tell her story. I couldn't imagine the hurt in her heart that she physically felt going through this. And I assume this is what contributes to her post-traumatic stress disorder. I know a lot of people wonder how she could have got PTSD from that. But anytime she sees a Poppy video or sees Poppy in her clothes, she probably feels that pit in her stomach, that pain in your heart, the lump in your throat. You start breathing like you breathe when you've been crying for a long time, but you feel that feeling instantly. I mean, compare it to walking in on your significant other in bed with somebody else. Imagine the hurt you would physically feel in that moment. And that's probably how Mars Argo feels when she watches these videos and sees that they're purposely mocking her and copying her, and then even worse, making money off of it. Now, there's many examples online where they copy Mars Argo's material, and this jacket, I guess, is the biggest example of not only them copying her, but mocking her as well. Because there's many pictures of Titanic Sinclair wearing this jacket. And I wonder if he's purposely trying to mock her, or maybe he just likes fur coats, because he did say that in an interview one time. Now, she finally left LA in December of 2015 because she just couldn't take it no more. Now, the That Poppy project was a huge mystery to all of us, and a lot of people would spend a lot of time trying to analyze their videos. And only true Mars Argo fans really knew the situation, but nobody knew the situation as in depth as they do now than Mars Argo, That Poppy, and Titanic Sinclair knew. They knew that these videos were making fun of Mars Argo, and Mars Argo knew that they were mocking her. I wonder if we all knew that this was an ex just trying to get back at his other ex, if she would have got as popular as she got today. Now, and one example I want to point out is that when the mystery surrounding the gun video of Mars Argo came out, apparently Titanic Sinclair purposely had his friend release that video to make it seem like Mars Argo was compliant in the That Poppy project, which I also think that it was a ploy to bring Mars Argo out of hiding as well, because he knew that would get under her skin. And I am so surprised that she had enough strength to not come out on social media and say something about it. That's amazing how she managed to not do that. Now, I'm assuming that Mars Argo was advised by her lawyers not to speak out publicly because they were attempting to gather as much evidence as they possibly could against That Poppy and Titanic Sinclair. So after reading this, you can definitely tell that Britney probably hid all their old projects to prevent him from stealing more content. And I could be wrong about this, but I think the whole copyright side of the lawsuit is that they're trying to prove that the That Poppy project is a continuation of the Mars Argo / computer show project. And if it is, it's technically owned by the old company that they made with Mars Argo and her dad. Now, I could be wrong about that. I'm not a lawyer. Now, I don't believe that Poppy / Mariah is a victim in this situation. I really think that Titanic Sinclair just kind of went from one rich girl to the next, because Mariah actually moved to LA to pursue her dreams when she was only 15 years old. And how do you do that if your parents aren't well off? I mean, how do you go to Los Angeles at 15 with no job? And the fact that they are acting like everything is a-okay, and then they posted 2 videos on the internet seemingly like they're responding to the lawsuit. Like one video said, "I fixed the broken heart," assuming that it means that I fixed Titanic Sinclair's heart that you broke. And then the next video was originally titled "The Jig," which I'm assuming is for "The Jig is Up, you caught us, you know what our project means." But then they changed it to "The Boogie." And it is a song that was involved in a lawsuit back in the day. On social media, they just post like they're on vacation and just having a grand old time. However, on the DL, That Poppy deleted as many as 500 tweets the day she was summoned to court, and Titanic Sinclair deleted about 20 or 30 tweets. Now, I get all this information from the Repzilla Twitter and his videos, so if my information is wrong, you can go to his website and blame him. I'm just kidding. Alright, so I gotta close out this video. I'm going to try to make a part 2, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. and I will see you guys in another video. Thank you for watching.
Say you need me.